I have trouble reading people's emotions. Emotions like smiling, crying, anger. There's certain things that people do in their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their hands, their everything. I just don't see that.
29-year-old Jason Ross has Asperger syndrome, a neurological disorder that impairs the ability to read other people's emotions, which makes relationships extremely difficult.
Is this the only one you put down?
Yeah. Okay. Since I have Asperger's, I don't know when people like me and people don't like me. It makes me feel frustrated.
I felt that something was not quite right with Jason. Almost from the day I brought him home from the hospital, his responses were not as quick as they should have been.
As Jason grew up, the nature of his problem became increasingly clear. He was bright, healthy, but just couldn't connect with other people.
Hi, Dad.
Jason, let's see you do the basket.
If someone came over to play with him, he was thrilled that he had someone come over and play with him. The only thing is, he really didn't want to interact with them.
Here he is, Jason Ross, 16 and a half years old. Shut up!
I couldn't fit in well. And everyone else would be playing and I would just go off and want to do my own thing.
I think Jason was one of the loneliest people I've ever met. He didn't know how to relate to people on any level.
We learn to relate to people at home. Our parents and families have to love us, but other people don't. As important as family relationships are, in some sense, they're just practice for what comes next. As children, our parents and siblings are the whole world to us, but as we grow, that world expands to include friends. A few in childhood, a few dozen in adolescence, and if Facebook is to be believed, a few thousand by the time we're done. Everyone knows that friends are good for us, but not everyone knows just how good. Without friendships, people suffer in ways that science is just beginning to understand. When I look out at all these people, one of the things I notice is very few of them are interacting with each other. They're just in the same place at the same time. Do you see a lot of loneliness when you look out on a scene like this?
I see a lot of isolation.
So you can actually be lonely in a crowd?
Absolutely.
Social psychologist John Cassiopo studies how our biology is affected by our social relationships. He's focused much of his work on the impact of chronic loneliness.
Loneliness is associated with a variety of mental and physical disorders. Heart disease, diabetes, dementias, accidents, suicides, a broad range.
So you're at risk as much from being lonely as you are from smoking?
It sounds hard to believe, but the answer is yes, and it's bad for people's health.